I never knew that Taylor Swift fans exist. They're like those crazy vegan people, you know what I mean? Again, I really don't want to go there. God damn it. You know, I really hope at the end of it all, it's just me that's crazy. It's nonsense. It's just absolute nonsense.
Do you believe in horoscopes?
Really? Like, really?
Y'all gotta do it if y'all wanna get it. We were born ready, yeah, and y'all gotta get it. Y'all gotta move it if y'all gonna get it. We were born ready, yeah, and y'all gotta get it. Goddamn. Back to back to back to back with it. Y'all don't want it, buddy. Y'all just be capping and the moving steady batting, but y'all can't hit it. Y'all was born rats and we was born. Y'all don't step on them, so y'all don't know them, but you talk that fire on the website, talking all night. Then your friend died. Y'all was born whipping in exotic shit Italians. If y'all hit us, then let
Hello,
your talent
welcome
get
to
expanded.
this
Use the talent
Respectfully Disrespectful, coming to you live and pre-recorded from my apartment. It's the young James Dean on episode 17. Do not look him up. Well, it depends what kind of James Dean you're looking up, but one of them's pretty respectful, the other one not so much. Here we go. Where to even begin? I'm gonna say this right now. It's gonna be a little shorter of an episode because your boy's not prepared for the 17th week in a row. Barely prepared, but still breathing. How's your week been, Igor?
Amazing.
No, that was
Nah,
well
it
said.
it was good. Getting a lot of stuff done.
Okay.
Going upstate with you.
Yep.
Working my ass off for some beers.
For some beers.
Yep.
Damn, man. Well, I want to say this. This isn't a football podcast, but I gotta say that over the last couple of years, the older I get, it's ridiculous. And I gotta be very careful the way I say this because people are gonna take this the wrong way. It's ridiculous to the extent that Arsenal affect me as a human being. You understand? Like, the emotion I feel, I sometimes think that players don't feel the way the fans do. You know what I mean? Because when you're a player, most of the time you are just employed, and some players care, don't get me wrong, but it's like you're going home and you're getting your 300K for the week. I'm going home and I'm getting destroyed on Twitter. You know what I mean? No, it's crazy, man. Like, that's the beauty of sports, and I know there's a lot of people who don't understand this. They don't understand the connection that most people have with sports, the people who do watch sports, because it's not just guys. And it's just the way you get it. It's like having a wife or husband who you've never met.
An abusive relationship sometimes.
Yeah, you've never met them, but you're affected by everything they do. Because I'm telling you, I've gotten to the point where if Arsenal lose, I am in the worst mood possible, and I just want to disappear. I mean, the stress I feel on my soul is like nothing I've ever felt before. I've had family members die, and I didn't feel this way. You understand?
Yo.
Listen, it's messed up. Don't get me wrong. It's messed up. It's not right, but that's just what it is. Like, I just don't feel like, because when that happens, this is gonna be terrible, but I'm gonna cut it up and it's just gonna be bad. When you're watching your team and then they lose, and you just have a week to go. And don't get me wrong, I've been through the worst times of my life with Arsenal because, you know, we're only in the good part of it now, but I've been through some horrible times. And I'm telling you, like, my family, my friends, my wife everybody knows that if Arsenal lose, it's going to be a bad time. I'm going to be in a bad mood. I'm going to give you one-word answers. I'm just going to want to run away somewhere and just, you know, and then you avoid the internet completely. That's the worst part, right? You just avoid the internet completely. There are times where I'm like, man, I wish I was supporting, like, Birmingham or something, where nobody cares. You lose, it's like, who cares?
You don't think there's that side of like Twitter and stuff where their rival fans abuse them on Twitter?
Maybe, but it's not to the same point, because if you look at the we're getting so into the football thing. I think it happens, but obviously not the same extent of big clubs. Just more people.
Well, I guess also big clubs get humiliated by people outside of the league.
Exactly. You just get abused wherever you go. So Arsenal is back, which means my mood now until May depends on if we won a game during the week.
It depends on 11 men.
11 men with a ball. That's what it depends on. My mood from this point on depends on 11 men playing with a ball. And I can't do anything about it. I can't. I just got to sit here and take it like a good boy. That's all I could do. So there was that. The start of the season is on, which I'm excited about, but also a little terrified because the stress.
I mean, you guys have consistency, you know?
Yeah, but still. I want to actually do like a whole separate channel for stuff like this. I just think it'd be fun, just to do it for fun. Like no expectations, just like shooting the shit with some people. Also, I'm gonna just say this here. I would, because like for the last couple of, I've been having a hard time getting my shit together. Like I have a notebook with ideas for videos. I have like logos and stuff made. And I just can't seem to find the time to sit down and actually like write it out, record it. And I would want to maybe take a little break from like a hour-long video and try to do what?
I thought you were about to say a year. I'm like, brother, you just started.
No. I'd want to like just do maybe a month of just like shorter videos. See how that does. You know what I mean? Because I have ideas, but it feels like every time I'm getting somewhere, I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to prepare for this. Because it's an hour long. And say what you want, but speaking for an hour and then like doing some kind of prep to know what you're talking about. I could sit here and bullshit the whole thing, like no problem. The thing is like you want to make it a little entertaining, right? You got to cut it up, put it on TikTok or something. And if it's just going to be me telling you about my week, it's just going to be like not as fun as like reacting to stuff that's going on in the world. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'm currently like thinking about actually sitting down, writing some stuff, shooting some stuff, and seeing where that goes. Maybe that's gonna unlock a different audience. You know what I mean? I'd still want to do this, but maybe like I remember Georgia was telling me this. He was like, "Dude, every week is like too much. Maybe every 2 weeks. I don't know. I know some people do like every month. A month seems too long. Maybe every 2 weeks we'd do like a podcast thing." Because you would have like enough time to, you know,
I mean, yeah, because then
accumulate stuff.
I'll find something, you'll find something. We'll do the research on it, write stuff out.
Yeah. Damn, look at this. We're almost at 10 minutes. Like, what is going on, man?
No topics have been spoken about.
No topics have
This
been
is exactly
spoken
what you said. We can just bullshit our way through the whole thing.
Yeah. I was at work. One of the people I work with is a huge Taylor Swift fan. And it bothers me because until I met this person, I never knew that Taylor Swift fans exist. I've heard about them, but you just never meet them.
They're like a unicorn.
Yeah, you like you see it on the internet all the time. But you're like, who is it? Where are they? It feels like they exist in like, which makes sense because is from Florida and that's like a swamp. So you would have to be from a swamp to enjoy Taylor
name
Swift.
Dropping.
I'm sorry. Oh yeah, the one in fucking New York City, dude.
They'll figure her out by finding out your first, last name, your social security number, your address, where you work, and so on.
You know what I need to do? Because I realized on Twitter, on the TikTok, I follow like 4 people who are like my close friends and like someone else, and I'm like, it's so easy to like, if somebody really wanted to, they will pin down where I live. If somebody really wanted to. So I was telling everybody, I'm like, I gotta unfollow everyone on like the business page.
Yep.
I might be overthinking it. I'm not that huge. No one cares about me, but
Not yet.
at some point maybe. Dude, you know what's actually funny is like most of the people that do like Taylor Swift are always these like super, they're like those crazy vegan people, you know what I mean? Like it's always the ones who are like super anti-plastic and like super environmental friendly.
The ones that glue themselves to the roads.
Yeah, and then when you tell them about the private jet thing, they're like, "Oh my god,
It's just one person.
she doesn't do it that much."
Yeah, and then you
But
look at
then
her
I
flight
go,
logs.
dog. But then I go and ask for a plastic straw. It's like I killed a baby tortoise or something. Like she could fly around her jet, but God forbid, I want to consume some plastic. The double standards are here, people.
Yeah, but you're not a turtle. So what's the harm of you using a straw?
Dude, we're gonna go down a really slippery path with this conversation, dude. I've gotten into fights with my sister over this. I'm telling you, this is what I tell everybody who brings that plastic straw thing to me. Is like, if you look at you know what it is, dude? It's like big companies found the little thing that they could pin somewhere. Like, what does everyone see? Well, everyone sees straws and everyone sees bags. They don't see the stuff in the background, the real plastic use. So let's just change the bags and the straws because that's what people will see and think we're making a change. So then when some company announces that, oh my God, we switched to paper straws, you're like, okay, good. But it's like if you look up the percentage of plastic that goes into straws, it's so minuscule. It's like non-existent. And it's like if you really want these companies to give up on plastic, see, like, notice that nobody like does any more like new things that they stopped doing with plastic.
I think the whole plastic, like, I mean, I'm not a professional in the whole plastic straw situation, but I think where it's coming from is that the plastic straws, since there's so many being used, they end up getting into the oceans and stuff, and then that gets like stuck in like fish or something. No clue.
I get that. Listen,
I think that's the main concern, not the fact that it's made out of plastic.
right, but it's part of it's the whole thing is like pollution, right? Is like you're really telling me that. Look, again, I really don't want to go there because
We can.
I'm gonna be because I'm just gonna be a bad guy. I'm gonna be a villain with this. But all I'm saying is like I don't believe if we're gonna spend time in the wilderness, I guarantee you more things kill animals than plastic straws. What is it? It takes what, a few animals to like get caught in those the plastic can holders or whatever.
I guess.
Well, natural selection. No, no, it sucks. I mean, listen, I like turtles, but I love plastic straws.
Yeah, I mean, don't you like enjoying your nice cold beverage, and then 2 minutes later the straw is still there?
Just eating paper. It's and that's the other thing, right? Is those same people who will gun you down for plastic will go to a supermarket, buy meat that is packed with plastic. They'll buy fruits that they put in a
Use
plastic
a phone
bag.
that's made out of plastic.
Yeah,
Clothes
it's
that
like,
are made out of plastic.
yeah, it's either like, and you know what's gonna happen? People are gonna jump on, well, you gotta start somewhere. Sure, except I haven't seen movement since the straws went away.
How about instead of spending all this time on trying to change stuff, getting all these paper straws and bags, we educate people on how to properly dispose of plastic so that you don't have assholes running around the city and just throwing their garbage all over the place. How about the city invests into some garbage bins and actually
That's so
cleans
true.
them?
That is so true. New York City, dude. I work next to the World Trade Center. It's insane how hard it is to find a trash can over there.
Like, I understand in South Brooklyn, like, you'll walk down the street and there'll be a trash can, like, here and there somewhere. Like, you won't really see it a lot.
Yeah.
But in Manhattan, where there's constantly tourists, where there's constantly people working, this and that, you can't put a freaking trash can? Really? Dude, explain to me why in a such highly developed society we need to go looking for a trash can instead of just there being one. It's as if they're just trying to force people to just drop their stuff. I understand you can take it home and whatever, but it's like sometimes it's uncomfortable carrying a wrapper from an ice cream that has like ice cream in it. You don't want
Dude,
it to get all over your clothes.
it's because most people unfortunately just don't care.
That's what
Our
I'm saying. Educated in schools.
yeah,
Like,
but
instill
it
some sort of.
connects. It connects to like so much is taught in schools that at some point like kids grow up and think that that's just things that are taught to little kids, right? It kind of goes back to the whole like being nice, treat everyone with respect, right? Those are like the buzzwords that they use in school when you're a kid, even though those are the lessons that adults need the most. It's same with this, right? Like being wasteful and stuff. These are lessons that adults need more than kids, because kids are always at the mercy of adults anyway. If you're a kid and you have rappers and stuff, your mom is going to throw it out, or your dad, right? So when you spend so much time, and I get, I'm not saying don't teach kids the importance of this stuff, but it gets absolutely lost when you get older, because at some point we cross this line where all of that stuff is just for little kids. Be nice, treat everyone with respect. All these things that make you a better person is like ingrained in you as a kid, and then slowly nobody says that anymore, so we just kind of forget about it.
You know, it's another huge factor of people growing up and becoming who they are, their parents.
Yeah.
I feel like whenever a kid messes up, in most situations, the parents should be held accountable. Because I've seen personally parents walking down the street with kids, and the parent just drops a bottle on the floor.
Just gotta break their legs.
No, I mean, obviously not, but
Yeah, but
it's
what are you
like,
gonna do? You're gonna, like, some 25-year-old's gonna be walking down the street doing something, you're gonna be like, bad parents.
well, also depends on the age. You'd
Well,
have to
yeah,
put
of
an age
course.
thing. But the problem is a lot of these kids are like sponges. They
Yeah,
they see their parents doing something, and then they're like, "Oh, I guess it's okay."
yeah, it's
And it goes from just treating
the
people
yeah.
around you poorly, like waiters and stuff, to literally treating the environment around you poorly.
Yeah, the problem is really deep, and it's also connected with other things. So that's what I'm saying is like it just hounding people down for plastic straws is not going to do anything. At the end of the day, there's like a lot of things that have to happen. It's a big country. Like there's so many people, especially in places like New York City. It is so dirty, and a big part of that is because the the admin. I don't want to say these words because we're gonna get flagged, but you know what I'm saying. Don't really care about what's going on in the city. That's just what it is. I can't imagine it's difficult for New York City to use its budget to clean up a little more, to put more trash cans around. It's just that people don't really care. But then you'll read that Starbucks is now not, is moving away from using plastic in this, and everyone thinks it's a big cooperative win when it's really not. It's just they're just like tricking you and stuff. You know what I mean? For every little plastic straw that they remove, there's like other things that they added to, and that's all it is. So really, if you really want to make a change, you got to target vote with your wallet. Target the big boys. You got to target the big boys. Let them know. Boycott stuff. It really works. It's just the problem is, again, we're in a country where people are not synced. They're not. When I talk about like New York City in general, there's so many immigrants here that nobody feels like it's their country. You know what I mean? Because if you're home, you're not gonna throw garbage everywhere, right? Because you live here. You're in your house. Why would you want to like throw trash everywhere? But then you go outside, and people clean their store or their shop or whatever, and they just throw trash on the street because at that point it doesn't concern them. That street is not their property. They don't care. At least that's how I see it. I don't know. Why would you want to, like, if it's your home, your kids are going to live here, your grandkids, why would you want to like mess it all up and make it dirty as possible? I guess people just don't think that far ahead. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point. Like, treat your city the same way you would treat your house, and then New York would be clean.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever see a day like that though,
100%,
unfortunately,
we'll never see a day like that.
because it becomes a vibe. The aesthetics.
Oh, the aesthetics. Don't get me started with the aesthetics. I can't.
It's the aesthetics.
Anytime I see some girl living in her comfortable apartment in freaking LA or something, and she's like, "Oh my God, look at this. This is so cool. Oh my God, 80s Eastern European is aesthetical." You're hysterical.
Yeah, dude, everything's becoming well. It's because like they glamorize it. You put a little filter on TikTok, you put a little song, and you put like a broken window, and you're like, wow,
They're looking at all these pictures through a freaking literal
lens.
pink glasses.
Yeah. That's how they look in New York too. You know, people come here and it's like, yeah, but that's the vibe of the city. It's just dirty.
Every year around Christmas and New Year, my cousin sends me the same exact video. New York, you got
The
uh,
Rockefeller tree.
the Rockefeller tree, you got snow falling all over Central Park. It's so beautiful. And then I send her pictures of what it looks like when everything turns into sludge and all those cars push all of that snow to the side, and it just goes like completely like gray and like black, and there's just dirt all over the place.
It's just mush.
I sent her those pictures, and she's like, "Stop! You're destroying my imagination of New York." I'm like, "This is reality."
Dude. Yeah, it's funny always when you're. I think that's how people in France probably feel, because France is like glorified as this romantic city.
Yeah, and it's so
But
dirty.
then everybody who's went there and told me about it, it's always the same story. There's so many rats. There's so many like, so much crime going on, and you're like, well,
I mean, New York is also infested.
yeah. But I'm saying like that's just. I guess that's the treatment that some cities get. I don't
Yep.
know.
Yeah.
Damn, I also realized that I've been wearing the same thing on the podcast for like 3 episodes. I swear to God, I have other clothes, but
We're recording it all in one day.
yeah, just stockpiling videos.
Yep.
No. I just I'm in a phase right now where I look at my wardrobe and I just want to wear black because I'm just like not feeling the bright colors anymore. Summer's ending and I'm like, ah,
Well, back to the gloomy streets of New York.
back to reality.
Oh, there goes gravity.
Yeah. What else was there?
Well,
Oh, crystals, dude. That's another thing, bro.
I think there's gonna be a lot of very controversial shorts off of this video.
Yeah, man. But you know what it is? That's the thing that sparks debates the most.
Good.
Yeah. So I got reminded of this at work, so I don't want this.
Oh, God.
I don't want people to think this is about them. It's really not.
Are you gonna name drop?
No. It just reminded me of this. Crystals, dude. So, God damn it. You know, I really hope at the end of it all, it's just me that's crazy, and like, you know, at the end of the movie, it turns out it was all true, and I'm just like realizing it. I feel like, why is it always that a person who collects crystals also believes in horoscopes?
It's like the crazy cat lady.
You'll never find someone who has crystals, but they're like, oh no, horoscopes are crazy. Never. But you'll correct. You'll collect rocks.
I knew a person that was like super into horoscopes, but didn't believe in the crystal stuff.
See, that I could believe. But you'll never find the reverse. You'll never find someone who has crystals but doesn't believe in horoscopes.
Do you believe in horoscopes?
No, I don't. I think the horoscope thing is just such a like scam in my opinion. I know it's like a big white girl topic and everything like that, but this is just my opinion of horoscopes. I think people are way too
Mine as well.
Yeah, I think people are way too complicated to be explained or described by just the time that they were born, like time period, you know what I mean? Like certain time of the month. Like I just don't, you know, and it's always the funniest thing because you'll have somebody read a horoscope. Most of the time it's very like it's so vague. It's like, "Oh, well you're stubborn, you hold things in, you take things personal." But that's like so many people. That's so many people. And then I could already see some girl on TikTok like, no, you don't get it. No, you don't get it. It's nonsense. It's just absolute nonsense. Like,
You know what it is? Belief is strong feelings. It's not, a lot of times it's not factual, and you can't argue either side of the point that well.
I guess, but then you're saying that horoscopes and believing in horoscopes is like a religion.
Maybe.
Well, then, I mean, If that's what it is, it's just like
We should bring up on screen some things that define a religion and see if it matches.
I'm not saying that look, some things are a little weird, but this is how it's always been in my case. When I was a kid, my grandma would like read me these horoscopes for the day, for the year, whatever like was around. And she'd be like, "Oh, it says here that you're like this, you're like that, you're like this." And in my mind, I'm like, "Well, you're just indoctrinating somebody to believe that that's how they behave." If you constantly tell somebody, "Oh, you're an asparagus, so you have to be uh you have to behave like this."
Don't forget about the Capri Suns.
Yeah, if you're a Capri Sun, then you have to then like, "Oh, well, you're usually very closed off and stuff." It's just like it's so bizarre.
But if you believe in that kind of stuff, wouldn't that like just subconsciously change the way you act? If you like strongly believe that you are supposed to be like this because you're this or that, wouldn't you start trying to act a certain way?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So then for those people, the horoscope is real.
I think we as people, we get to a point sometimes, not everybody, but I feel like now it's more relevant. We lose sight of who we are and we have trouble developing our personality. And that's because there's so many things around us that influence our personality. And it kind of goes into like the whole philosophical thing of like, is there actually free choice, like freedom of choice? You're constantly on the internet, you're constantly looking up to people, you have role models, you wish you were like someone, you start picking up their habits. It's kind of like my parents or my grandparents would always do this thing. They'll be like, "Oh, you know uh of course you're your dad's son, you walk like him or you eat like him." And it's like, well, when I was a kid I was mimicking him. Like, that's my dad. I'm gonna do things that he does. You know what I mean? Like, if my cousin is sitting there who's older than me or my dad and their leg is shaking like this when they eat or something, I'll probably do that too. Like, kids are sponges. They will mimic things. And what I'm saying is, like, there's usually explanations for these things. And to me, people are so complex in the way they think and act that when you're like, "Oh, well, he's asparagus, so he's like this," and it gets worse when people are like, "Ooh, I can't be friends with him because he's a Taurus or something." It's like, really? Like, really? Like, it gets to the point where you judge someone even before you talk to them. And then you know what happens then? You'll only pick up on the negative things they do or say. And then in your head, you're like, "Oh, well, it's because he's a Taurus, of course. They're known to be stubborn."
So one time we were out. It was a big group of people, and there was this one girl. She was super into like astrology and all that stuff, and like horoscopes. And she was telling us all these random stories. But the thing that really stuck to me was she said that if you sit on cold concrete, the energy from the
Oh,
bad
boy.
energy from the cold concrete is gonna enter your pelvis and make you infertile.
Concrete's gonna impregnate you. Dude, and that's the other thing, right? No offense, but
Full
most
offense.
no offense, but most people who tell me about horoscopes are crazy. Okay? I have never met someone who sit down and go, "Yeah, I believe in horoscopes. Here's why. I think people get affected by this. I think there's a correlation between this." You know what it gets hit with? I get hit with. It's like, "Yeah, well, they are. You just don't get it." Okay, tell me, what
it's
are you? What are you?
Feelings based.
Oh, you're a Cancer? Of course. Let me look. Look, so it says here, you're here, and then you're like, "Yeah, but that could be anybody." And then they go, yeah, what? You don't get it.
It's because you're a Cancer.
It's because you're Cancer.
Well, there was that whole story I told you about. We were all at a party, and this girl's like, "Oh, I can tell exactly who all of you are on like your zodiac signs." It took her like 6 tries, and then at the 6th try, she was like, "Oh well,"
So halfway.
pretty much. And then she was like, "Oh well, obviously it was really hard to guess you because you're this and that." I'm like, really, really?
No, well, it's because you're a Scorpio. Dude, don't get me started.
You know when I knew it was bad? When my ex asked me the time I was born.
Oh, dude, I hate people. God damn it, I hate people. I hate when people have their zodiacs tattooed on them, when they have it in their bio. You're just making it part of your personality. That's the worst part. You are finding an excuse to behave like a piece of shit because it's,
Do you think people who associate themselves so much with their horoscope, do they have like identity crisis or something?
I wouldn't go that far. Some probably, but I just think like one, it's fun. It's fun to like play that game like, ooh, what's that zodiac? What are you gonna be like? What are you like here? And the tabloids make it even more fun because you could read your zodiac for the day, for the week. You know what I mean? They make it like
For
a
the
game.
second.
Yeah, they make it like a game. So it becomes like a normal thing.
It becomes a problem when they start living by that.
And then they also find like coincidences. And that's the thing. Coincidences usually fuel these things because you'll have a best friend and then you'll read on your zodiac that, oh, you're compatible with this sign and that's your friend. And you're like, it makes sense. And then it'll say, oh, you're not compatible with these signs. And then you'll like remember that you don't like some person who's a Scorpio. And you're like, this makes sense. And there you go. That's it. You just fully created a crazy person.
We should do a video on our compatibility.
Yeah, man. This podcast is not so much about topics, but I promise you, this is a clip generating podcast, and I'm gonna be uploading these on TikTok. And if they start moving, I feel like it's gonna be bad.
If they start moving, we know that we need to make more episodes like this.
I want to apologize in advance. These opinions are my own.
I'm not apologizing since my face is behind the camera.
That's true. I don't want to get targeted, but listen. These are just my feelings and thoughts. What else has been going on? Oh, dude, Battlefield. Of course. This is another.
I was just about to say that.
Another clip generating topic. Battlefield 6 beta came out.
Terrible.
What?
It was a terrible game. Don't buy it. That's
Battlefield
a clip for
6?
you. That's a clip for you.
Oh, no. Battlefield 6 beta came out. I feel like the game got kind of announced quick. I feel like 2 months ago I didn't even know about this.
Oh no, I've known about it since last year. Last year they cut so they stopped updating Battlefield 2042. The only thing that was happening is they would like sometimes release some skin or something like that to 2042.
So what does that mean right away that they're working on the game?
As soon as they stopped, maybe a week later, it came out that they're developing Battlefield 6. And then like 3 months later, this guy I know on his Instagram, he posted a video of himself playing the alpha. So I've known about this for a while.
Well, Battlefield 6 beta dropped.
Amazing. I love it.
It broke it had like 500,000 people on it or something, right? Over 521,000 concurrent players on Steam alone. So assuming every platform, it probably crossed 1 million, maybe more. Because, Xbox, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. More than 5 million unique players. That's crazy. And then 605,000 Steam pre-orders.
That's 605,000 multiplied by 70.
Yeah, that's
some decent money right there.
That's some money. And you know what that means? That as soon as Battlefield does anything, Call of Duty gets brought up for some reason.
So there was a funny statistic, but I decided not to include it in the doc because I was trying to find where this came from and how to verify this, and I couldn't. But basically, the statistic was that 62% of loyal Call of Duty players said that they will be buying Battlefield 6, and I'm like, how do I verify this?
Well, it's not. You know what it is? I thought this would change when I got older. I can't believe the Battlefield and Call of Duty debate is still a thing. It confused me even back in the day when it was like Battlefield 3. I don't understand. And even back then when I was a child, I viewed these two games as completely different.
I feel like the only reason there is a debate like that is because these are the two biggest FPS games. That's it.
Right. I understand that they get put in the same spot because they're shooters, but they're different games. Call of Duty is very arcadey.
Yeah.
Call of Duty is a game that if you want to get on and do a quick fun shooter running around pulling your team, if you want, you can easily win a game if you're the only person on your team who is capable of, like, pulling the whole squad to win. Like, it's very doable in Call of Duty because it's that arcadey. Battlefield has always been about strategy. It's always been strategic. It's always been about communicating, squad, all that stuff. Vehicles, large maps. It was so confusing why people kept, like, I understand it was fun. They made it this, like, culture war. It was Battlefield versus Call of Duty. And I was caught up in it because for a long time I didn't want to buy Battlefield because I was a Call of Duty player. But then I started playing Battlefield and I'm like, they're different games. Like, I have no problem playing one and playing the other. And then, of course, what happens is, and I'm just going to level it a little with Battlefield players. The numbers we're talking about, like, oh, it beat Call of Duty and stuff like that. Yeah, because they were run dry for the past, like, 10 years. Battlefield 2042 was so horrible that as soon as people hear Battlefield 6 and they're going back to their roots, of course everybody's going to flock to it. That's what happens when you deprive a fan base. Don't get me wrong, the game is really fun, but it also has elements similar to Call of Duty now. The maps are, the ones in the beta were way smaller than usual. The pace has been faster, in my opinion.
Well,
I've been drop-shotting people. I've never done that in Battlefield before.
The maps are smaller, but the amount of people on the map it's still there. 64 and 64.
Well, of course, but that's why it feels even more fast-paced. You're running around and you're always running into somebody.
Yeah, but you know what it is? I prefer always running into somebody rather than playing some game called Squad where you have to run for 10 minutes before you see the first person and then you get clocked from across the map.
Yeah, obviously. But what I'm saying is, like, people would always complain about, and that's the funny part. The smallest maps in Call of Duty were always the most popular. You stick
Nuketown.
You stick 12 people on a little ground and you have them fight, and it becomes fun because people don't want to waste their time. And that's the thing with, like, Battlefield that I feel like they're kind of replicating in some maps. Again, the full game is going to come out and I'm sure there's going to be, like, these giant maps with, like, multiple vehicles and flying and all that stuff. But it was bizarre to me. Like, it always seems like, notice how when Call of Duty, what's the one that just came out? Black Ops 6?
Last one was Black Ops 6. The next one is Black Ops 7.
Yeah, when Black Ops 6 came out, when Modern Warfare 2 Remake came out, nobody was talking about Battlefield. Call of Duty players who were playing Black Ops 6 were not like, oh, look, there's more players here than Battlefield 2042. It's like, yeah, no duh.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. They're talking about Battlefield 6, something new compared to Black Ops 6, which has been around since last year, November.
Yeah. They're talking about that. But even again, if you're taking the launch, right? Because that's another thing. Like, Battlefield had more players, but again, it's because when you're jumping from Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 3, whatever the last one was before Black Ops 6, and then you go into Black Ops 6, it's still Call of Duty. You're getting Call of Duty. You're not going to jump in and be like, oh, this game is horrible, the movement mechanics and stuff like that. It retained some people. It left some people. Call of Duty comes out every year. That's a big one, too. If Call of Duty stopped for like 5 years and dropped a game, I promise you it would do the same thing.
100%.
Like, if you know what I mean? If Modern Warfare 4, whatever, comes out in 10 years, the same thing will happen. Nostalgia will kick in. People will jump in. They'll start playing, and if it's back to the basics, people are going to love it. So, I don't know. It was like a weird one that I feel like so many people just kept comparing it. And I don't understand. I'll post this as well. Hope maybe some people. Again, I'm not talking either of the games. I think they're both different. They both had their challenges, and I like them both, and I'm excited. I want to get Battlefield 6. I think it was fun, and we'll see what happens, but keep Call of Duty's name out of your mouth.
While we're still on the topic of games, have you been seeing what's happening with Roblox?
Oh, dude, that's right. That's something I completely forgot about. Dude,
Yeah.
yeah. So from what I know about Roblox, and it's actually crazy because I feel like, so this came out this week, and it was like this weird storm one day and it felt very calculated. I didn't even know this was happening. So it started coming out from different sources, right? Something about keeping children safe on Roblox. Apparently this was like, again, I don't play Roblox. I know a lot of kids play Roblox, and there's a lot of problems apparently with, I don't want to use the buzzwords, but people who
PDF
want
files.
PDF files on Roblox, and there's going to be lawsuits happening. So let's see, what do we have here? Because Igor prepped some stuff for us.
Louisiana Attorney General lawsuit is happening.
Right, that's what I saw. Yeah, so the Attorney General in Louisiana is filing a lawsuit that Roblox is failing in setting up any protection means for kids. I saw this was also backed by a bunch of people. I saw some YouTube partners leaving Roblox.
Well, Schlepp is the biggest one, and it's very unfortunate as to what happened. His whole story is that as a kid, he used to play Roblox, and he was groomed.
Oh,
And
wow.
that kind of like fueled his whole thing with like trying to expose people on Roblox, and he actually helped make 6 arrests.
I saw Chris Hansen, To Catch a Predator guy.
Yeah.
I saw
he's
was
working on an exposure too.
Yeah, it's actually crazy because
Expose.
honestly, I feel like Roblox flew over my head at some point. I was so detached from understanding that game. I just thought it was like another one of those like Club Penguin kind of games.
It was so much more simple back in the day. Nowadays, there's like
It's like become
politics to this whole thing.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of concern regarding child safety, and it seems like Roblox itself is having. I mean, if it got to this point, that means they've been just ignoring it for a long time. And I've actually known this to be a fact. Like a lot of these games, and back in the day it was like Club Penguin, Wizard 101. A lot of these places would have older people playing it with the attempt to become friends with kids.
Which is completely insane.
To be fair, I also imagine that it's very difficult to. How do you police that? You know what I mean? If you have a game that's for everyone, it's very difficult. Like, what I'm saying, like.
So Roblox has a report system, and one of the reasons they banned Schlepp and they sent him a cease and desist letter is because he ignored the official reporting tools. However, he claims that he used them and was just completely ignored.
See, this is going to be good for like a separate video because I'd want to dig deeper into that.
100%, yeah, we can do that, no problem.
That's really weird. Yeah, because if you have people speaking out in the community and you have people using the systems that are in place to combat this and you're just not doing anything about it, well, then it's just at some point this is what's going to happen, right? You're going to have people, lawsuits and, oh, damn, their stock fell to 10%.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of backlash on the internet, and people are calling for the CEO to resign.
Like I said, my only thing is I'm curious what the solution would be to this, because are you going to ID everybody? That's going to be difficult. What if you're a dad playing with your son and his buddies from school? Like, that's weird if you're looking at just age.
They can probably use... So, a lot of times this happens, I'm assuming, in, like, general chat. Like, on the servers and stuff.
Right.
Like, people talking to each other, whatever. They can maybe set up some sort of monitoring system, because those have been
That's
around
true.
for a while now.
But what happens when they're just like, oh, add me on Discord?
Well, that's a problem, and that I honestly don't know how you could battle that, because obviously if you add someone on Discord and you start talking to them in private, Discord doesn't, or at least not that I know of, doesn't view your messages or like monitor them. They probably have a system set up in place where they monitor some certain keywords that will get flagged, but that's about it. You know?
I'll say this. I think for the amount of money that Roblox makes, they definitely have enough to do something. Open a case, open an inquiry, get creators together. get people together who have, because there are people who have been doing this for a long time, who have been catching people online in video games. There are people you can talk to come up with some kind of system, and there's no excuse to be making so much money off of a very young player base and then abusing that.
Yeah, I feel like instead of like doing all this stuff with Schlep, where they sent him a cease and desist letter, they could have contacted him.
Yeah.
And been like, look, we see what you're doing a good job, but how can we make it so that we can help you, or we can combat this and stop it from happening?
Yeah.
Instead, they're like, get off our platform.
Yeah.
Which makes it seem like they know exactly what's happening and they're protecting.
Brush it under the rug, yeah. Yeah, more to follow. I definitely want to look into more, like, what the resolution is going to be to all of this, because this is bad.
Incorporate AI at this point.
Yeah, this is bad. This is something that, like, kids are now spending more and more time online. This wasn't like back in the day, like when you physically watch your kid play outside and you could physically see who's approaching them. This is like, most parents have no idea. Most parents are like, oh, my kid's playing Roblox. That's it.
Well, there's Roblox on the phone now too.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Most kids have phones.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's say a kid doesn't have access to a laptop, or doesn't have access to a computer, or I think it's on consoles too now.
I think
they can still play on their phone.
I think the safe thing with this kind of situation is, obviously there are things you can do, things you can't do. If you have a kid, if you have nieces, nephews, whoever it is, I think it's important to let them know, like, that people like this exist. And, you know, I'm sure it's a uncomfortable conversation, but they need to understand as well that you need to protect yourself, and if anybody ever messages you, does anything, you need to be vocal about it. And obviously put pressure on these companies, all these parents who are paying these subscriptions to Roblox, these skins and stuff. Stop, because that's the only way these companies understand. Like, they, you know, when they see that their wallets are growing, they're not gonna do anything about it, because it's clearly not an issue.
Well, the Roblox stock is already falling, so
I know,
maybe
but
that's
these kind of things,
light.
when the stock falls, it's just a reaction to the first wave. You know what I mean?
Obviously, you need to wait and see what's gonna happen eventually down the line.
Yeah, we'll see. More to come. I feel, even though we didn't cover like crazy amount of topics, I still think it was fun. Definitely pissed off a few people, so
Good.
have to bleep some names. Bad. What's it called? Like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing this every single week. I definitely want to have a system, but I want to dip my toe in video making, like 15-minute videos, 20-minute videos. We have a lot of ideas, a lot of research that goes into it, but again, it feels like with these longer formats, it's you record, you start editing, you post, and you have to prepare again for like the next one that's in a few days. And it's just, when you have a full-time job, it's even harder to find time to sit down and like actually record. So we'll see what happens, but we're gonna take it one at a time, and you know, hopefully something will happen. I don't know, it's gonna be a big year coming up, I hope. What's it called?
2026.
2026. It's your boy. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Send this to somebody who believes in zodiac signs. Send this to a Roblox player. Send this to somebody who collects crystals, even.
Send this to someone who believes that Cleopatra is still alive.
Yeah, we know one person. Yeah, so thank you again for being with us this week. Hopefully you made it through the whole episode. And my phone is buzzing. It's time to go. BIO.
Thank you for watching. Bye.
Just be capping and the moving steady batting, but y'all can't hit it. Y'all